Hi, kindergartners. Welcome to your TV classroom. Today is Tuesday, January 14th. How are you today? I'm really excited for our lesson today because we're going to talk about shapes. But before we get into our math, let's check in with our zones. How are you feeling today? How does your body feel? How's your brain feeling? And what are your feelings telling you today? Well, my brain is calm. My body's a little slow. I think it's a little bit tired. And my feelings feel happy. So I think I'm in the green zone. What zone are you in today? Before we get going, our math talk today is going to be counting. Now, we've been doing lots of math. I know you've been practicing counting at home. Do you think we can count to the number 70 today? By ones? Do you think we can do it? Let's give it a go. We're gonna go slow to make sure we say each number correctly. Sometimes it's really fun to count fast and it feels really like, yes, I did it. But when we count fast, we say the numbers incorrectly, and that will cause problems later on in the year. So let's start. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Mabel, uh-oh. Mabel, do you remember what comes after 30? I know it goes 20, 21. What comes after 30? Oh, friends, thank you. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Mabel, we did it. We got to 70. Nice job, kindergartners. Now your challenge is to work on counting all the way to 100 without skipping or messing up any of your numbers. Okay, let's look at what we get to do today. Today we are learning the difference between solid shapes and flat shapes. Solid shapes and flat shapes. I wonder what I mean by solid shapes and flat shapes. Does anyone have any idea what I mean by solid shapes and flat shapes? Let's take a look at our next picture. It says sort. How might you sort these items? What categories would you put them in? What would you do, Mabel? What would you do? You might do all the round things and all the non-round things? Okay. Does anyone have a different way they might sort these shapes? You might do the real life things and the non-life things. So what would be in the real life category? You could put the, let me make sure I have the right color. You could put like the worm and the cat and the bird all in a group. And then you might put all the other things, the balls, the cup, and the apple in a group. Okay, that's a way to sort it. What's another way we could sort this? We could do all the spheres. What are those? What's a sphere? All the spheres. Sphere is like a ball. It's round, it's even, and you can hold it in your hand. Where are the spheres here? Yeah, the soccer ball, the basketball, the kickball, and the tennis ball. And then the bird, the cat, the cup, the worm, and the apple would all be in their own group. Sorting is so much fun. Today, we're going to be sorting some things here on my table in a minute, but before we sort it, Mr. Kevin, can I have just my whiteboard, please? Okay, so I want to talk about solid versus flat. This is a solid shape. If you notice, I can hold it in my hand, and it has what we call depth to it. Do you see that? So it's not just flat on a piece of paper. This is a flat shape. It's a triangle. This is what we call a triangular prism. This is a solid shape. The objects in our world are made of solid shapes and flat shapes. You can see a triangle flat face here on this solid shape, but this is a solid shape. Anything that's flat, like drawn on paper, is a flat shape. It's one-dimensional or two-dimensional. There's no depth to it. You just have what's drawn. Where this, there's what's drawn and it like comes off the paper. Do you see how it has depth to it? It like shoots up off the paper. See? And I can hold it in my hand. I can't really hold the triangle in it's just flat. Like it's flat. There's nothing there. You see? It's just flat on a piece of paper. Flat shapes are exactly that. They're flat. Solid shapes are solid. So let's take a look at our PowerPoint. I want to know how many flat shapes you see. Now it's a little bit tricky when we draw. So what they do is they make things and they highlight them like this to make it look like it's standing out on the page right here. See this one right here? This is a solid shape. See how they're trying to show you that it's one of these. It's a cylinder. Okay? So I want to know the flat shapes. How many flat shapes do you see? The ones where they just drew the outline of the shape. Yeah, I see a rectangle, a hexagon, a square, a triangle, and a circle. I see 5 flat shapes. How many solid shapes do we see? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 solid shapes. Now, I have a bunch of shapes up here, and it says to sort, but we're going to just sort them right here on my table, okay? And I've got all these shapes. They're all over the place. I brought stuff from my house. I drew some shapes, and we have to decide, and I'm going to write on this sticky note. Oh, come on, pencil. Flat. This side's gonna be flat, flat. And I'm gonna move all the shapes over here and I'll hold it up and we'll decide, is it flat or is it solid? Okay, move all the shapes and then solid. And we're gonna figure out how many flat and how many solid shapes we have. Okay, solid, flat. Triangular prism, it's a block. Solid or flat. So you can see it here. It's my block. Solid or flat? What do you think? Mabel, you say solid? Ding, 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 ding. Solid. Square. Solid or flat? Flat. It doesn't even stick up off the table. It's just drawn on a piece of paper. Okay, ball. Solid or flat shape? This is a bumpy sphere, but it's a sphere. Solid or flat? Solid. Okay. Cone. Solid or flat? Solid. It's from Oliver's Toys. Okay. Rectangle. Solid or flat? Flat. Circle. Solid or flat? Flat. When you're doing your art with Miss Teresa, are you using solid or flat shapes? Flat shapes, they're the ones you're drawing, yeah. Cylinder, solid or flat? Can I hold it in my hand? Yeah, it's solid. Rectangular prism, solid or flat? Solid. Triangle, solid or flat? Flat. Very good. Square prism, solid or flat? Solid. Can. This can is a cylinder. Solid or flat? Solid. Kiss your brain, kindergartners. Awesome job sorting today. Now we're going to go through and you're going to tell me, is it flat, and I'm going to put an F on it, or is it solid, and I'm going to put an S on it? Are you ready? Ink color white. Sphere, solid or flat? Solid. Square, solid or flat? Flat. Cylinder, solid or flat? Yes, solid. Circle, solid or flat? Flat. Triangle, solid or flat? Flat. Cube, solid or flat? Solid. Rectangle, solid or flat? Flat. And cone, solid or flat? Solid. Great job, kindergartners. Today, you're going to do pages 231 and 232. On page 231, you're going to just give me examples of some shapes. And then for page 232, you get to go around your house and find different things that are shapes, collect them, and then sort them into solid and flat, and draw some pictures of them here on your workbook page. Now, today, did we tell what made a solid shape? Mm-hmm. Did we tell what made a flat shape? Yep. Did we sort the shapes? Yes, we did. And did we count them? Uh-huh. Not all the time, but we did most of the time. So did we learn the difference between solid shapes and flat shapes today? We did. Excellent job. Now, you are going to have a lesson with Miss Oslin coming up. Make sure that you have your learning buddy and that you're ready to go. Before your lesson, you are going to have a break. So have a wonderful break, and then we will see you back ready to learn with Miss Oslin, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, kindergartners.
Greetings, astronaut cadets. This is your commanding officer reporting to you from Space Command. Today, we will be traveling to and exploring the moon. We call this mission Space Jump. Here's how it works. Number 1, complete each of the 4 levels by reaching the star coin. 2, when you see me run, you run. 3, when you encounter an object coming towards you, you will need to either dodge, duck, dip, dive, or dodge in order to safely complete each level. And number 4, have fun. Good luck, cadets! Let's run.
Hi, kindergartners. Welcome back from your break. How responsible of you to have gone and gathered your materials and taken care of your needs, just like Mrs. Wally asked you to do for our literacy lesson with me, Mrs. Oslin. Let's get started. Let's remind ourselves what our job is when we come together every day. Your job is to listen, share, read, and write. And let's practice our active listening. Say this with me. Eyes watching, ears listening, voice quiet, body still. And sometimes, even when your eyes are watching, your ears are listening, your voice is quiet, and your body's still, you might need to remind your brain to focus. And when you know that you need to remind yourself, say it kindly to yourself. Say it positively. Just say, focus, self, focus. And today we are learning to own more letters. We know, spoiler alert, today and Thursday are the last 2 days that we're going to spend learning letters, because after that, you will have learned them all. Can you believe that? Can you believe they're all in there somewhere? And we're gonna work to practice using them so that you can know them in a snap, so you can use them to be a stronger reader and writer. So, are you ready to practice our alphabet song? Now, pay really close attention when you're singing and really focus on the letters on the chart so that your brain makes that connection between what they look like on paper and what you call them, so that when you see them in your books, your brain knows them in a snap. Are you ready? Mr. Kevin's ready.
Ready.
Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with us? Excellent job, everyone. Now we know this because we've done this almost every day for the school year. How to learn a letter. Say this with me. We name it, sound it, write it, and use it. How to learn a letter. First, we name it. This letter is G. Name this letter G. This is a lowercase g. Name this letter G. This is a capital W. Name this letter W. This is a lowercase w. Name this letter W. Uh-oh, our PowerPoint seems to have a mind of its own. Woo! Okay, still a lowercase w. Next, we sound it. The letter G says G. What's the sound? G.
G.
Like in goat and guitar. W says woo, like in window, web, and watermelon. W says woo. What does W say? Woo. Good. Now we get to write it. Got your marker? Take the cap off. Plug it in. Remember, when we are writing, I want you saying the letter formation pathway with me so that you know how to write the letters, so that when you do this independently, you can coach yourself, which means you're saying this out loud to remind your muscles what to do. It's almost like you'll have a little Mrs. Oslin sitting on your shoulder, whispering in your ear how to write these letters. Let's start with a capital G. Capital G is a letter that is tall, so we say pens up, bump back, oh my goodness. Pens up, bump back around, and stop. Straight up, little line turned in. Capital G says G. Lowercase g is a letter that falls, so pens out, bump back around, and stop. Line up, line back down below, hook up. G, name this letter. G, sound this letter. G, good. Erase. Now let's do a capital W. A capital W is a letter that is tall, so we say pens up. Say this with me. Slanted line down, slanted line up, slanted line down, slanted line up. Now, a lowercase w has the same shape, but it's a letter that is small. So we say pens out, and then the formation is the same from there. Slanted line down, slanted line up, slanted line down, slanted line up. Name this letter, W. Sound this letter, W. Now, I'm going to teach you something new that we are going to build into our routines. What I want you to get from your phonics packet is your alphabet chart. And it has letters and pictures on it. Do you have it?
Look like that?
It should look like that. Thank you, Mr. Kevin. This is exactly what you're looking for, except yours is black and white. It won't have pictures on it. But it does have Mabel at the top, and it says, now I know my ABCs. Are you ready? Okay. So our new routine that we're going to do is called reading our alphabet chart. And this is something that you can do during your independent work. And you'll notice that the letters are in order. You'll notice that there are pictures, and I'm going to tell you that the pictures are things that begin with that letter sound, except for the X. You'll remember the X is different because there aren't a lot of letters in our English language with X at the beginning that says X. So we used a picture with X at the end. So reading our alphabet chart sounds like this. We start at A. And just like Mrs. Wally has taught us in math, we read from left to right. So we'll go A, B, C, do your return sweep down to D, and then go across this way, return sweep down to I. Yep, that's right. Then we'll return sweep down to N. See the pattern? Just like when we read or do math equations, we do left to right with a return sweep. Now, when we do this, I want you looking at the letter and the picture. And I'm going to model, and I'm just going to go all the way through the alphabet chart. And I want you to join in with me as you figure it out. We'll start by saying the picture, the beginning sound, followed by the letter. And this is really going to help our brains transfer what we've been learning about letter names and sounds into actually using them to read and write. Are you ready? Here we go. So, looking at the first box with the A and an apple, it'll sound like this. Apple, A. Ball, B. Cat, C. Dog, D. Egg, E. Fan, F. Goat, G. Hat, H. Igloo, I. Jump rope, J. Kite, K. Ladybug, L. Monkey, M, nest, N, octopus, O, pig, P, question, Q, rainbow, R, sun, S, turtle, T, umbrella, U, volcano, V, watermelon, W, fox, X, yarn, Y, zipper, Z. Excellent job. A lot of you were able to jump in and figure that out with me. So you'll remember the pattern goes picture, beginning sound, letter. And that helps you when you go into your independent reading and you see these letters, you can come back to this chart and be like, now I see the K, and then you'll find the K on your chart right here. You'll say, okay, it looked like that. Oh, kite, K. And then you can get back into your reading and know that the book, the letter, the word is going to probably make K. So reading our alphabet chart is a new routine that we are going to continue almost every day. And it's also going to become part of your independent reading and writing time. Excellent job with that today. Now, we talked about the letter, let me erase all of this so we can focus on our new letters. Actually, I'm going to get back into G. We learned that G says G, like goat and guitar. What are some other words that you can think of that start with G? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy the words that you are thinking that start with G. Mabel, our friend Gus. Gus. I'm also thinking about good job. I'm also thinking about Gouda. It's a type of cheese. Mr. Kevin has one.
Gravy.
Gravy. Gravy. Good thinking. Kindergartner. So many words that we can think of that start with G, which is the letter G. Now let's think of words that start with W, like in window, web, watermelon. Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy all the words that you are thinking of that start with a W, saying woo. I'm thinking of water, wait, waver, wiffle, like a wiffle ball, a waffle.
Waffle.
Waffles. Kindergartners, you thought of so many words that start with woo. Kiss your brains. Okay, we used it. We read our alphabet chart. You got to share your ideas. Should we practice writing some of our old favorite letters? All right. Name this letter. C. Sound this letter. Excellent. Got your marker ready? All right. It's a capital C, so pens up, bump back around, and stop. Lowercase c, pens out, bump back around, and stop. Name this letter. C. Sound this letter. K. Erase. D. D says D. Good. Pens up, line down, back up, big bump around. A lowercase d says D. Good. We say pens out, bump back around and stop, line up, line back down. D. Erase. F. F says pens up, line down, back up, little line out and out. Lowercase f, pens up, hook from the top, line down, little line across. F says, good, like fan on our alphabet chart. Ooh, H. H says, yeah, hat, H. Pens up, line down, up and over a scooch, line down, little line connecting. Lowercase h is pens up, line down, back up a bit, bump around and down. Hat, H. I'm gonna skip ahead here. Ooh, let's do K for Kevin. Here we go, pens up, line down, up and over a scooch, slanted line in, slanted line down. Lowercase k, pens up, line down, up and over halfway up, slanted line in, slanted line down. K says k, like in Kevin and kite. Skip ahead. Oh my goodness, I got two going too fast here. Let's start here with U. Umbrella, U. Pens up, line down, hook around and straight back to the top. Lowercase u, pens out, line down, hook around, straight back to the top and a little line back down. U says good. Erase. V, pens up, slanted line down, slanted line up. Lowercase v, pens out, slanted line down, slanted line up. Volcano, V. Ooh, X. Capital X is a letter that's tall, so pens up, slanted line down, and slanted line down. Lowercase x, you'll remember, has the same shape, it's just small, so pens out, slanted line down, slanted line down. Fox, X, X. Good. Erase. And last one. Z, pens up, little line out, slanted line down, little line out. And a lowercase z is a letter that's small, so pens out, little line out, slanted line down, little line out. Zipper, Z. Good. Erase. Now put the cap on your marker, make sure it clicks shut so you can use it again in your independent work time, which will be to read. You're going to use all of the letters that you have learned and the sounds, and you're going to practice reading your alphabet chart, just like we learned today, and in your books, you're going to look for letters that you know and use them to read the words. You're also going to look at the pictures and say the pictures out loud, and think about what sounds do I hear and what letters make those sounds. You're also going to continue writing. You're going to practice writing all of your letters on your whiteboard. Use your letter formation chart that you have and say the formations out loud. Remember, you want that little Mrs. Oslin sitting on your shoulder so that eventually you don't even have to think about writing letters. You can just do it in a snap. Now, I want to remind you that tomorrow is Wednesday, and that is the day when we have Miss Teresa here to teach us art. You will need art paper or any kind of paper, doesn't matter. She told us it can be plain paper, it can be lined paper, it can be whatever you have. And you'll need a pencil, and then you'll need some colored pencils or crayons, whatever supplies you have at home. We will also have a special guest in our TV classroom tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that. Now it's time for our affirmation. This is the time when we get to build ourselves up and remind ourselves of how amazing we are. And your affirmation today, and I'm going to connect it to what we did when we first came together after Mrs. Wally's math lesson, was you showed up with your materials. You demonstrated responsibility. So let's remind ourselves that I am responsible. Say that with me. I am responsible. And you're going to continue to demonstrate responsibility today when you go off and complete your independent math and reading and writing tasks. Thank you so much for learning so many letters with me today, kindergartners. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow in our TV classroom. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.